You're watching TriStar Digging. My name is Sam, and I am here to start day number 2 on this pretty cool little road project. It's 2,100 feet long. Most of it's not going to be too bad. But we do have an entrance that we've already built. We'll take a look at that in just a second. We've got a dry creek crossing we got to do. Got to put 2 3-foot culverts in that. Got a big old borrow pit that's got to be filled in, and then we got to get through a big old pile of woods. It looks like everybody here is behind me. Nope, somebody's missing. Comment below who you think is missing out of this group right here. And if you haven't seen this little baby excavator right here on the channel yet, I'm going to be giving that away in a future video, so you definitely want to stay tuned for that. And you guessed it, the hog is missing. If you watched yesterday's video, you already know what's wrong with the hog. Hog's been sitting for a couple months. There's two things. There's two types of batteries. Well, actually, there's 3. There's good batteries, there's dead batteries, and then there's dead batteries. That's what's going on with the hog. The hog has the 24-volt system. It has 2 12-volt dead batteries. I've got 2. I took them home last night, get them charged up, and then I brought a spare off of another vehicle. So we're going to head back to the hog. We're going to try to get that thing fired up and started, because I really need that thing first thing this morning. I have made it back here to where the old hog is sitting at, and this has been sitting here since I finished this job site. If you remember the job site where I had to dig the big old borrow pit to build a pad, which is right over here, that's it. It's healed up nicely, and I'm telling you right now, there's a lot of dirt to come out of there. The old hog hauled that on that job site. Anyway, I've got to get batteries set in this thing, and I hope it's going to start. I don't want to spend most of the day working on this. There's the door that I left open. That's nice too. Never a dull moment around here. Always something going on. Something I've always, golly, just a mess sometimes. Ooh. There's one, and that one needs to turn around like that. Ooh. Wow, things are heavy. Okay, now then, get that down in there. Go. What's going on here? Did I put the wrong one in first? My goodness, I did. Out it comes. I'll tell you what, I'll just leave that one in the hole, spin it around. There we go. Now then, let's try this again. Woo, heavy. Now that I'll get these hooked up, because this is a 24-volt system, we'll put the negative on this one, put the positive on this one, and then I've got this little bridge that connects the positive and negative on this side, which effectively makes this a 24-volt system. Yeah, let's get that taken care of, get these bolted down, tightened up, and we'll see. If not, I do have a backup plan. I got another battery right there that I don't know if it's charged or not fully, but it is a plan. I don't know if it'll work or not. Now let's get those tightened down. I'll get that last negative cable on there, and then we'll see. I do know there's some juice in there because I dropped a wrench between the positive and the negative here. Had a pretty good little arc, so it has some juice in it anyway. Here's how confident I am that's going to start. Let's climb in the old hog and see if we've got juice. Actually, the master's already on. I wanted that off when I hooked those up, but it wasn't. Let's go. Let's go, hog. Let's turn the key on. Yes, we do have power to the panel here. Fingers crossed. Let's go, hog. Come on. Oh, nothing. I've got nothing. My confidence was in vain. Let's climb out here. I got a couple booster boxes I can put on there. See if that'll help get us some juice. If not, I got booster cables and I got this other battery, and let's just keep going till we get this thing started. I do have a loose connection here. That could be part of it. Let's fix that. Now then, I got that tightened up. Let's just see, just for kicks and giggles, if that's what was wrong with it. I sure hope so. Let's go, hog. Round number 2. Nothing. I guess I can get my tester out and test across the batteries. See if we got 24 volts. That's what place to start, I suppose. Got the handy dandy little voltmeter going here. What I'm gonna do is touch the negative and the positive just like that. And we have 22.25 volts. We're a little shy of enough power. I'm gonna put a little booster on this and see what we got. Let me check each battery and see what we got on those. So put the negative in there, positive over here. 11 point, that's a bad deal right there. 11.2 volts. Now then, let's check this other one. Negative right there, positive right there. Oh yeah, 10.98. There's our problem. Hopefully the booster will boost this thing on off. And these batteries are, I bought them in 23, it looks like. They're 2 years old, and I hope I didn't kill them by letting them run all the way down like that. But anyway, we've got poor battery voltage. Let's see if we can't help it by boosting it a little bit here. This is saying 12.6 volts. Turn that on. All right, here goes round 3. Let's see what round 3 does for us. Let's go, hog. Well, we got some clickage this time. Oh boy, that's more than what we had so far. Let's put another booster on it. On the other side, see if that'll work. Now then, let's hook this one up. That should give us enough voltage in between them 2 batteries to get started. I hope this will be, what are we on? Try number 4. I need me one of those big 24 volt boosters, but I don't have one, so we'll go with 2 12s. And 12.3, that other one's blinking. Should be good to go. Try number 4. Boy, it's trying to. It just doesn't have enough juice. I'm gonna have to hook the truck up to it, I suppose, and let it run for just a second. Maybe more than a second, maybe a minute. I'll be back when I get that taken care of and see if we get this thing fired off. Try number 5. What I did first, instead of trying to jump into the truck, is I got this extra battery here. I tested it. It's got 11.8, 11.9 volts in it. I've got it hooked to one of these other batteries and the jump box on the other one. Let's see what happens now. I don't have time for this. I don't want to be working on this truck this morning. I want to use it. Oh, here we go. I've lost count. Still nothing. Now I'm starting to get aggravated. Oh man. What I did was hook the batteries up to there to charge each battery just a little bit. That didn't work. These batteries are shot. I do need new batteries. I killed these, and that's my fault. Ain't no excuses. It's my fault for leaving them the master switch on and not. Anyway, long story short, I'm going to boost this thing off, and you might ask, well, Sam, how are you going to boost off a 24 volt system with a 12 volt system? Just like anything else, you go to YouTube and you watch a video how to do it. Here's how I'm going to do it. Takes 2 sets of booster cables. You have to disconnect both batteries, both terminals on this side, both terminals on that side, and then we're going to connect the batteries just as I did in there with those these cables, hooking a positive to a negative and then having a positive going to the truck and a positive going to the truck negative. Same way with this. You take the booster cables and do the exact same thing, and then you run a positive off of there into here, and then a negative over there into here. I know that didn't make a whole lot of sense because I need to slow down and explain that very well. But anyway, I'm gonna get this hooked up and we're gonna try to get this truck boosted off. I'm gonna give credit to the guy in the video. I'm gonna put his YouTube channel, probably a link something on the screen so you can find out how to do this if you're interested in doing that. He did a pretty good job on that, explaining it, so let's hook it up. Got this mess figured out now. Basically what this is this first set of booster cables is a jumper wire between the hot side of this battery and the ground side of that battery. So that it hooks these two batteries together from positive to negative. And then I ran a positive from the positive side of this battery over to the positive side of this battery here, and then the negative side of this battery to the negative side of that battery over there. Now then, if all that is correct, we should have 24 volts here at the negative side of this battery and the positive side of this battery. So let's go. Positive, negative, 24.63 volts. We are connected. We've got plenty of voltage to this truck now to get it started. My truck is safe because the terminals are disconnected from the battery. My batteries are basically just sitting in the truck. So let's give this thing a shot and see if we can get it started this time. So you might ask, well, what's the plan after you get that done? Well, the plan is to get this truck started so this truck can start making money. So that money can then turn some easy for you to say, buy some batteries for this truck. Okay, so let's get this thing going. Well then, come on truck, we gotta start. Attempt number 422. We've got juice here. Let's go. Fired up like a champ. Oh, that's good, that's good. All right, let's get this mess unhooked, get my batteries hooked back up, get that truck out of the way. Let's get to work. I do want to point out one thing. I'm testing this to see if this truck is charging, and I've got that hooked up to the negative and positive, and we are at 26.74. So that means the truck is charging those batteries. Hopefully, I don't know, maybe that truck will charge those up over the day, and I won't have to buy any. Got the hog still running here, it's charging. I got my batteries hooked back up, it's running. We'll go ahead and run my truck back up here to where all the equipment is, and then I'll have to walk. I probably need to exercise, I'm guessing. Walk back here and pick up the hog and take it up there to where hopefully we'll start working here in a minute. It is now, well, it ain't 12 o'clock, that's what my truck says, but my batteries was unhooked. It is 9:24, and I haven't made any money yet today. Let's see if we can make some money the rest of the day. Okay, well that was a pretty good little walk. Get the blood flow going this morning. The truck is in gear, we're moving. We're starting to make money here in just a minute. So hang on, let's get the excavator fired up. I guess I need to put that bed down. That might help. Get the excavator fired up, start moving some of that dirt I moved yesterday. And I haven't even had time to show y'all what I did yesterday. So I'll do that too. Talk about what we're going to do to try to accomplish today. Hang on, we're going to get started. I guess as I'm driving out, I can show you one thing we've got to do. And I mentioned it's putting in a culvert for this dry creek. I don't know if you can see over there, probably not. Let me pull over here so you take a look at that maybe. Anyway, I know you can't see it, but right in there, there's a pretty deep hole. It's probably 5 feet, 6 feet deep in there. There's a couple pipes already in there. Those have got to be set in place, and they've got to be put in. And then there's one other place right here I want to show you. Well, there was a borrow pit or something at one time, and a road's going to go through there, and that's got to be filled in and packed as well. That place is right there on the left. That's where we're going to put all the dirt that we dig out for the road. That's going to go in that area there. Made it back to headquarters here, and I'm going to hop out and get the old excavator fired up, and then we'll let it warm up while we get the truck in place, and everything should be chicken but the gravy then. Computer's booting up, fixing to get ready to go here. All right, put the OK button. Fire in the hole. Good deal. That started up. We are good to go with that one. I do need to set the this machine has a auto warm up. Actually, there it is. Auto warm up. So you hit that check button there, hit OK, and then the machine goes into an auto warm up and heats up the engine, hydraulic oil, and gets it ready to go to work. It's 9:30 a.m. I'm officially, well, no, I'm not. I started to say I'm officially making money now. I just looked down at the fuel gauge. Where it was setting up there on that hill, I had fuel, but now then, on level ground, it's out. I hope there's some in the truck. Let's see if we got some fuel. Filled up the skid steer yesterday at the end of the day. Now I hope I've still got enough fuel in this truck to actually matter. And I almost turned the key to turn this thing off. I'm glad I didn't. Come on, fuel. All right, we've got some coming out there if you can see it. We might be in good shape yet. Woo, good deal. Get this thing fueled up and again, I think we'll get started here in just a minute. I don't know. It's Wednesday, but it feels like another Monday. And we are off. We got some go-go juice. Look at there. We got enough go-go juice to get us through the day. Now then, let's get over here and start digging some dirt. It's about 15 minutes till 10, and hopefully now we're going to start making some money. The first thing I want to do is get rid of this old junk dirt, grass, and overburden that came from the entranceway. Get it out of here, and then I can start moving my good field dirt that you see. Well, actually, y'all are sitting on part of the field dirt, and then the rest of it's over there to my left that I'm going to make that creek crossing with, dry creek crossing. Woo! Finally making money. I just hope and pray those batteries will take a charge today and get re-energized and not cost me some money. I suppose whenever I left that job that I was on there where the truck was sitting, I guess I was in a hurry. I think actually I was planning to come back and get the truck. That's why the door was left open and the battery wasn't turned off. But then I got to remembering, I guess I got to remembering this job, and there wasn't no need bringing the truck home. And I forgot to take care of the things that were necessary. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. We are moving today. I guess y'all didn't even see that coming. I did, but it was in slow motion. That log I was putting in there flipped over. Y'all were sitting right there and it knocked y'all off. I'm beginning to think I need to go home. I just need to go home and start again tomorrow. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Now I gotta get out of this truck without breaking my leg. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I know there's a tire down there somewhere. I think I see it. Ooh. Yeah, I got it. Get this truck loaded up, finished up, and we'll find somewhere to take this old junk stuff. I ain't sure real sure where I'm gonna take that just yet. And we are off. I was sure hoping that the camera didn't break when that tree hit it, but seems to be working pretty good. Now then, we're off to find somewhere. Right here at the edge of this mess, looks like as good a place as any. We got to take the road off down through there, but I think if I just dump it right in there, I can find a place to waste it after I get the road. After I get the road going. Property line is right there, and it runs up through here and back down that way. All right, y'all are not gonna believe this. Y'all were sitting on top of this T-post, right? And then I come back here to get you. This clod of dirt rolled off that pile and hit this post. Oh man, I just, I don't even want to say. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna keep working and hope for the best. Hey, I want to step away from the job site just for a few minutes there and do a quick estimate. That's something I need to look at to figure the cost. We're planning on putting a concrete pad in this location. I've got to do some excavation work, but I want to show you while I'm doing this a really cool piece of technology that I think is just absolutely the coolest thing I've seen in a while. I've been watching this for a while. This little device is called Moasure. This is actually the Moasure 2 Pro, and I've got a partnership going with Moasure to do a few videos for you guys to show you how this works and how it's actually able to make your life a lot easier. It's going to make my life a whole lot easier, that is for sure. When I first started watching about the Moasure, they were carrying this little device around, and they would set it down and measure. They would bend over and pick it up and take it somewhere else and measure. And I thought, you know what, they need a stick. And I was actually looking at buying that, and I was going in my mind, I was thinking about how I could rig that up on a stick or a pole so I wouldn't have to bend over and set this thing so much. They actually now have come out with a really cool pole for this to work in. And what you do is you take this Moasure device, the pointy end right here, it will match the pointy end in this. And it's pretty simple. You just slide it in there just like that and it is ready to go. And then on the other end, all you have to have for this to work is a cell phone. You do not have to have internet connection and you do not have to have GPS signals. It does not work by internet or GPS. It works a Bluetooth connection between the device and your phone. So that's really easy to work. And I have screen record going, and what you want to do is go to your phone there. I've already hit the Moasure app. Now I want to hit the plus button. Now the shape that I want to select is closed shape. So I hit that button. And now it says waiting to connect, and all you do to activate it is pick it up and spin it just a little bit, and then it activates the device. Then you put it back down on the ground where it goes, and now it says start measuring. So what you want to do is move quickly, but you want to keep this thing moving it around as smoothly as you can because that's going to take its best measurements. I'm going to measure the perimeter of the work site, the job area, and then I'm going to come back to my start location, which will be my stop location. And then I'm going to pick points, and then I'm going to go back through and measure different points throughout the job site to give us a 3D image of what the inside of this job site looks like. Now then, we want to move smoothly and quickly around the job site to take those measurements. Stopping each time. You got to stop about every 6 seconds for it to take a measurement. So you can move as fast as you want to, as long as you're smooth, and you need to stop about every 6 seconds. And you can see on the screen there, each time I stop, it's plotting that location on the screen and giving me a real live diagram of the job site as I'm measuring it. Now then, for this, I'm going to purposely step outside of my line and take a measurement right here because I'm going to show you how to make a pretty cool little adjustment to it. And then you come back to your start location and you set it back down on the ground. Now then, I can stay here as long as I want to and keep it in this position, but when you pick it up, you got to be ready to move again. What I want to do is go down here to the bottom and click this button that says points. And now then, I'm going to record points inside the job area that'll give us that 3D look at the inside of what it's going to look like. So now basically what I'm going to do is just take 3 points in 3 different lines, and then we'll take a look at that. Now then, I'm going to take this last point right here, and then I got to head back over to my start point real quickly so I can get there within 6 seconds. Now that I'm back here at my start location, which is now my end location, you just simply hit the red button that you'll see on the screen there, and that stops. Now that gives you a picture of what you just measured. And now what I want to show you on the screen is, you remember when I said I was going to step outside of a direct line in my path? Well, that is this point right here. Now that I have selected that, you see how that kind of dog legs out there. What I want to do is select that point by touching it there, and then you go down here to the bottom and it says ignore. So when I hit that button ignore, it ignores that point and goes from those 2 points and ignores that little kick out that I did there. That's pretty good because you can go around objects and measure around objects, and then you can ignore those points and it'll draw a straight line through the area that you had to go around. So that's pretty cool. Now then, the next thing I want to show you, I think this is pretty awesome too. You go into the edit button that I just hit there. You go over to edit background, you click that, and then you go into your photos album, and then you select a picture that you've already taken. This picture I did with the drone a while ago, so I hovered over the drone and took the picture, and now then we want to overlay the drawing that we just made onto an actual photo of the job site. And then I want to be able to spin that around, so I'm going to hit this button right here. I'm going to be able to spin our drawing around just like that and fit that on the screen to where it fits, just like that. And now then I'm going to hit the apply button. And now then what we have, and I'm going to spin this around so you can see it. Now then what we have is the overlay of that on an actual picture, so you can show your customers what it's going to look like on an actual photo of their property. Now then, something else I want to show you is you go into the button, 3D button, you click on that. Now then you got a 3D image of what your job site looks like. Also, you can go into the next one, which is actually I need to get rid of that background, but this is like a topo map of it. Let me go in here and get rid of the picture that I just put on there. So we'll go back to edit background, and we'll put delete the image, and we'll click delete. And now then we're going back to the original image that we have. So then we want to go back to the 3D, no, the topo lines that I've shown you there. So that's the topo map of that property. And then we want to go back to 3D, and you can spin that around however you want to. Now, there are very subtle changes in this area I'm working on, but if you were measuring a hill, or if you were measuring these retaining walls, you'll actually see a 3D image, the heights and the depths inside that image that you have there. Let's go back to 2D where we are. Now then, something else that's pretty cool, if you want to know the distance between, say, this point right here that I just selected, you hit this cross section, and then you select the button you want, the next point you want to go to, which is here. And it will show you the distance between those 2 points. That's pretty cool also. So let's go back to our original drawing there, and we see that we have a perimeter of 119 feet, and we have a square footage of 855 square feet. We want to take a look at a function in this called cut and fill, and we go to the edit button, click cut and fill. Now then, this will show us, I want to go up here and I want to hit net. And if I want it to say, I want it to have a net volume, meaning that I want the dirt to balance out within this job site. Then I hit yes. That is a cut and fill line right there that you see. So that will show you where you need to take dirt out of and where you need to put dirt into. So that is pretty cool as well. And then there's a slider on the bottom that can show you if you're cut and fill. And you can see how I'm moving that. If you want to do less of a cut, so that would be the cut, and the blue is the fill. If you want to do more cut and less fill, that's how you do that. Or if you want to do all fill. Pretty easy to do, pretty easy to work. It's a lot of help to me. I think it'll be a lot of help to you. If you're interested in the Moasure, I'm going to put a link in the description. You can go to the description, click on that link, and it'll take you directly to the ordering page where you'll get a discount from clicking on that link. So I appreciate you watching. I hope this was something that you learned from, and maybe you're interested in getting this Moasure just like I was. So let's get back to the video and let's get this job done. Let's take a walk down here at the entranceway to the property where I started yesterday. Give you an update on what I accomplished yesterday and what I want to try to accomplish today. Things will kind of straighten out for me a little bit. Standing in the county road right now, and this is where I started yesterday. I'm gonna get out of the road so I don't get run over. But I'm gonna do a side-by-side comparison of yesterday, what I started with yesterday on this side, and then what I accomplished yesterday. Basically, got this entranceway cut in. I'm gonna do riprap ditches on both sides. Got it crowned so water will shed off of it. And this part's actually ready for rock. Let me turn around and look at the entranceway actually. That entranceway, I got it cut in. It's about 4 inches below the county road right there. And I'll get rock all the way to the edge of the county road, get that packed in. That'll be looking good. Also, these ditches were pretty bad stopped up. Got that ditch cleaned out. Got that other ditch cleaned out right there. I used that little mini X, the little Chinese mini excavator to do that with. That's the first time I'd ever used it in an actual work situation. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it did okay. Boy, that thing's jumpy and jerky, but somebody's gonna win that, like I said. All that dirt that I got off the road that I just showed you is right in here. This is some good fill material. Once I get this junk out of the way, I'm gonna start hauling this good fill material back there to that dry creek crossing. Stockpile it for when I get ready to do that. So let's get this truck loaded again and get out of here. Rinse and repeat, get this truck, get this stuff out there. It should get all of it on this load. And then I'll be ready to start getting that stuff out of here. So I'll be back in a little while when I get some progress done and bring you up to speed where we are. I'm about ready for lunch. I wish it was lunchtime. Down through here, and I've not driven down through here. I have brought the Dozer in and out of here once. This might be just a touch sketchy. Yeah, right there's that big deep hole. My goodness, that's a lot deeper than I even thought it was. That's full of sticks and trash, and wow, that's a deep hole right there. And my road's got to go through there. We'll skirt around the edge of this and see what kind of mess we've got here. Let me just climb out and check that out before I go any farther. Yeah, that is full of brush and trash. I say trash, just dumps and stuff. And then there's a big pile of dirt right in here. I don't know where I'm gonna put all this stuff because this is only 50 foot wide for me to build this road on, and there's stuff laying everywhere. I guess what I need to do is go get the excavator, clean this hole out, put all this material over here to the left-hand side where all that stuff already is, because this has got to go up farther up the road for a burn pile. Get this cleaned out, looking good to where I can start putting dirt in here, and then what I'll do is come back up here and dump dirt, start pushing it off through here and filling this in to build a road through here. I just didn't realize that hole was as deep as it was, and anyway, change of plans, let's get started on it. I got backed out there now. I'm just going to dump that first load right in there to where I can use it to push in when I get that cleaned out. Got y'all in them trees like that. I thought y'all were a goner again. I probably wouldn't have found y'all if you'd have come off while that truck was dumping that dirt out. That wouldn't have been good. Still got a little dirt in there. I'm gonna try to lift the bed up, shake it out. I got concerned about y'all being in those trees. Lost track of what I was doing. There it went. You shake the truck like that, it wiggles the whole truck, and it helps turn some of that dirt loose. Let's go get the excavator and get that hole cleaned out, see what that looks like. Let's head off in here and see what we've got now. And that is that's kind of a unknown for sure. I'm gonna cast this stuff right here over here closer to the property line, this old grass and debris and stuff. But I don't need that in my way over here, moving it to the left side. Anything that can burn, I do need to get it out, I guess, and pile it up over here so it can be burned. This is a deep hole in here. I don't even know how deep it is. I'm gonna clean all this out and just get a little bit closer to the edge and see what it looks like. Just gonna cast this stuff over here. I mean, there's stuff in there that can burn, but it's so mixed up with dirt. What this looks like is an old burn pit that I'm in now. I guess it was dug out for whatever reason, Now I'm getting into trash. Oh my gosh. This is interesting. I hope this isn't all trash where I'm sitting at. Anyway, I'm gonna keep digging this down and get all this stuff kind of cleaned out, cleared out here. Because I have to get down to solid dirt, build that road. Dig a little test hole right here and see if that burn mess goes all the way back up this hill or if that's just isolated right there where it was. Kind of appears that it was just isolated. Yeah, that's good dirt underneath there. Take one more shot right here where the camera's at. It's not good dirt as far as building a road, but it's clean as far as there's no trash in it. That's what I was afraid of. All right, that's the plan. I'm gonna get this dressed up, cleaned up, get it to where I can start pushing dirt off in here and building that road across through here. I got all that cleaned up there where y'all are sitting. Now I've moved down here a little bit farther. See what this stuff right here looks like. And I'm just going to cast it over there to the side, out of the way of the road, closer to that side of the property line. Should be out of the way enough and not have to deal with it. That's good dirt right there. Get all this trash off of it. Just drop your teeth down like that right there. And back and scoot backwards with it. Get rid of that stuff. That wasn't the smoothest one I've ever done, but you get the point. There we go, that's a little better. And I'm gonna bring the dozer down through here and clean all this up anyway. I was digging around here and now we have an interesting development. Let me get swung around as I climb out on the track and take a look at it. I was moving this brush around that you see right there in the front, and then I come across this deep hole right here. I don't know if that's a hole that somebody's dug out or if that's a sinkhole. That's about 6 feet deep. I'm gonna explore that a little bit and see what that looks like. Start by pulling the edge of this back just a little bit. This stuff out of the way so I can look down in there, see what we got. I don't know, somebody could have been digging a test hole for something to see what kind of dirt was in here, I guess. Anyway, we'll get it cleaned out and I'm gonna dig down in there a little bit and see what I can find. Now that I'm looking at it, this edge over here, right there where my right tooth is, that looks like a smooth bank. It almost looks like an excavator's mark right there. Make sure it's got a solid bottom, and then we'll proceed on with something else. That's actually topsoil down in there. So all that stuff that I just dug off was put in here. Fill material. Now that's deep topsoil too. Wow, it's good looking stuff. And then I got below the topsoil. That's not a sinkhole, that was my concern. We'll fill this in and pack it down, and we will carry on. Been doing a little bit of work here cleaning up, and what I think I found is what I'm sitting on. What's in front of me and behind me is a big pile of good material, clay, good packable dirt that I can build this section of road back up through that little crater behind me here that I've been working on. Anyway, what I'm going to do is take a few minutes here and scalp all this grass and rough material off with the excavator. Wow, this is rough right here. And get this cleaned up where I can bring the dozer in and just start cutting. You might say, well, why don't I just use a dozer to scalp this off? And I would, except for it is the ground is so rough that it would be hard to manage just taking off the little bit of topsoil that's on it and this grass without cutting a lot of the dirt out with it. The dirt I want to save that I can build that area with. That's why I'm scalping it with the excavator. So as I get a section cleared, I'll just back up a little bit and then keep on pulling it towards me till I can get it cast over here in that hole where I can get rid of it. Now that I got a lot of that stuff cleaned off the excavator, I'm just going to start skimming the top of this ground here to get all this bad dirt off of it. Topsoil, vegetation, sticks, all that stuff. And that way I can go back with some good dirt over the top of it. Get this hole cleaned out. That's steep, but it's not too bad. Not too bad. Good deal. I just had to take a pause there for just a second, and the neighbor on the my left side right now as I'm working called me, and we talked about this little hole area that extends over there onto his property as well. He is cool with me putting extra dirt over there to fill that in, and cool with anything right here that I need to do. And also he wants me to look at some work over on his place, so that worked out pretty good. But this is some really, really good material now to build this road with, and I am thankful to have that right here that we can push off in there and build it. I'm gonna build this up in lifts, and I'll show you here in just a minute once I get a lift in there how I plan to do it. But for right now, I just got to kind of hog this dirt off in there and kind of get a place started. But I'll be back with you in just a few minutes, and well, it's instantly for you, but a few minutes for me. Let's talk about the what I mentioned earlier about doing lifts. I've got the first lift in here now. It's probably better to go down here to this end and take a look at it. And then after we talk about this, I'm gonna go back up, get not the skid steer, the packer. I'm gonna bring the packer back down here, and we're gonna get this lift back in. That's one thing about putting it in lifts. If you get it kind of level or somewhat level, then you can run the packer back and forth across it and be safe. If you push dirt in there on the side of a hill like that and you just keep filling it in, you can't get good compaction with a dozer because you can't run over it flat, and then you certainly can't get a packer on it because of the side slope of it. It's not very safe. That packer will turn over on you, and I'm speaking from experience because I did turn it over once. Now then, let's look back up here just a little bit. And this is where that big hump of dirt was earlier when I was scratching that back and cleaning it off. That was this area. Now then, that's knocked down. I've got a good chunk of dirt over there, and I've got a bunch of dirt over here that I'm going to be able to use to build this road with. I think I'm actually going to have enough. But the purpose and the plan of pushing in there in lifts, like I said, is you put a certain amount in there, and then you put a certain amount on that, and then you put more on that, and then you pack it in so that it gets good compaction as you're raising it up. We've got a long way to go. As you can see from right here, this needs to go all the way up to that dirt pile up top. What I'm going to do, as I mentioned, is go get the packer, pack that in, and then the dirt that I dumped here this morning from up at the entrance, I'm going to take that, push that off in here, and use it as backfill on this backside. The reason I'm going to use it as backfill on the backside rather than use it as actual fill material is because the fill material that I have that I'm in now is better than this. But this is really good stuff to hold that back slope, and that won't take as much of the good stuff because you're not spilling over every time. Hope that made sense. It does up in here. Sometimes it don't make sense up in here, but anyway, let's go get the packer and get that packed in. And while I'm headed back over there, I'm gonna have me a beef stick and a green Powerade. You gotta take a break when you can. We got that packed in. Now it's time to push that other in there. I don't know, have I mentioned lately that I love building roads? I absolutely love building roads. When you can take a place that looked like that this morning and make it look like that in half a day, or down there at the entrance like I did yesterday and cleaned up that nasty mess that was down there from all that erosion, get that looking like it did, that's satisfying. I hope you enjoy what you do. I hope you love the work that you do. If you don't, I hope you get a chance to do that one day, because there's a lot of satisfaction in doing a job that you love. So let's get this dirt pushed in there and get it packed in. Use it as backfill on the back side of where this road is going to be built. In since the last part that you saw. I've used up a bunch of that dirt that was over there already. Got one little chunk left, and I still got a decent amount right here in this little berm, but that's coming up real nicely now. I just got that last lift that I put in. I got that packed, and you can see we still got to come up quite a ways to meet that area right up there. I've got to cut out a little bit early today. I've got to go pick up my wife's car. It's been at the mechanic shop getting some stuff work done to it. $1,700 worth. Oh man, I gotta go pay for that and get her car. But that's gonna do it for today's video. I will be back tomorrow to start another one. Hope you enjoyed this one. God bless, and I appreciate you watching. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that video there of continue the progress of building that road. And I also want to mention before I get into the message is the first men's group meeting that we're going to have is on August the 20th at 6 p.m. If you're interested in that, you're in the Cleveland, Tennessee area or close by and want to drive to it, you can shoot me an email at trystardigging@gmail.com and I'll get you the information for that. So that's next Wednesday. Today is the, I don't know what today is. I think it's 15th. But anyway, on Wednesday, August the 20th will be that first meeting. What I want to talk about in this message is about the unknown. And you saw in that video there was an unknown pit there that I finally figured out. I believe it was a pond. Somebody had started a pond, or they built a pond and it didn't hold water. I believe that's what it was. And then there was an unknown about that hole that I thought was a sinkhole. It was just a strange hole dug in the middle, it just in the middle of nowhere. So there's a lot of unknowns in the job sites that I go to, and there are a lot of unknowns in our life. And that's what I want to speak about, are the things in our life that slip up on us, the unknowns and the things that catch us off guard, and they kind of set us back a little bit. But I want to encourage you to know that God knows each and everything that's going on in our life. He has a purpose and a plan for all those. We don't understand it a lot of times. Well, most of the time we don't understand it. But if you're a Christian, a believer in Jesus Christ, placed your faith and trust in Him, then He has a purpose and a plan. And we've got to trust that and have faith and confidence that He's going to see us through those things. The passage of Scripture that I want to look at is in 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 7. And it says this, it's just a short little verse. It says, casting all your care upon Him, for He cares for you. That's a short verse, but it means a lot. It means that everything that goes on in our life, the cares, burdens, concerns that we have, we can cast those upon the Lord. And then He's going to see us through those things. Even though the times are difficult, and I know some folks, even watching this, are going through some difficult times, and I go through those difficult times as well. But we can have our faith and confidence in Him, knowing that He's going to see us through. And that applies if you're a Christian and a believer. If you're not a believer, not trusting in Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, you're carrying those burdens. You're on your own. You're carrying the frustrations and the anxieties of the world on your own back. Because we have to be in Christ. We have to be a new creation, as the Word would tell us. So that then we have, Jesus says the Word tells us that Jesus is seated at the right hand of the Father, making intercession for those who believe. That's Christians, believers in Jesus Christ. So if you're struggling in this world and you don't know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, it's as simple as ABC, and then I like to add the R. Admitting that we are sinners, believing in Jesus Christ and who He said He was, and confessing Him as Lord and Savior. And then the R is repenting, turning away from our sins and turning to a life of Christ. I hope this has been an encouragement to you. And as I said, I know there are some folks out there who are hurting and struggling. Stand strong in the faith and the trust of the Lord, and let Him see you through that. God bless you, and I appreciate you watching.